I read the comments for this review in my last video, check that out, but I accidentally stumbled upon this one, and I kind of liked it story-wise. Obviously, I don't condone anything in the video that should be given. What's up, guys? 747 here. Welcome to Watch Plus. Government content coming your way. So, we have, as the title suggests, a tour conductor. Yeah, I know. That's pretty shocking, right? So, long story short, with this whole plot of this whole entire story is that there's a purse that's at this hotel, that's a suite, that it has a very ominous tale. The tale, you have this one woman, her name was Tamiko, who was kidnapped and trafficked for the foreseeable future until one day a man decided to, I want to help you, we should escape from here. When they're running in the woods to try to escape, you know how this stuff goes. They didn't get away. The man gets an axe to the chest, and then they just on top of his grave, on top of his corpse basically. And the plot twist that the tale is given when you tell people this is that there was a miscarriage because she was pregnant the whole time by the man who's trying to help her escape. So with this, Tamiko's wrath, she's had enough. She turns into a full demon, slices everybody, turns them all into maggots from their eyes and every single pore explode. And now the legend of Tamiko and her doll, which manifests her power, resides in the hotel. Now, already off the bat, I got a couple different questions, but don't worry, or actually completely worry, because none of those get answers whatsoever, because we flash back into present day. We have our main character named Naka, also called Rina. I'll probably call her Rina. She's at her job. She's like, guys, I don't think I should be the tour guide for this place. It's kind of haunted, and also I'm like kind of, putting myself in a weird spot. And they're like, no, you're fine. Go ahead, do it. And so off she goes. Did she get scolded by her boss? Yes, it's kind of funny how a work environment is going on there. Very similar. I can relate, who can relate to a boss scolding you. She's at the site, and it already starts off pretty weird because we're getting a vibe of what's going to happen. Because when she's about to call up, her manager's like, hey, we're missing like 20 people. What the hell is going on? He's like, oh, they're all gone. And by the way, the guy who's going to help you got into an accident. So you're on your own with like 9 different people. Their first tour ever in the isolated, desolate area in the middle of the woods. Already off the bat, horrible manager. Anyway, they go, and then the story I just told you, a dude named Saito tells her everything. She's obviously scared, shaking, shivering. They get to the hotel. Saito's like, wait a minute, you're not the owner. The owner isn't cute, and his suspicions were right, because Sakamoto, who was the owner of this hotel, quote unquote, was actually the mayor of this town they're in. When they left the city, it's about like midday, 1 to 3 p.m. And then when they got to this village of Matsuzawa, it's around 6 or 7. Already off the bat, it's pretty bad. And to make things even worse, there were about 2 other women on this tour. And these women were Tamiya and Katahiro. They wanted to get this party started early, which I'm gonna be honest with you, kind of makes sense, right? This is a haunted, very ominous mansion. You're like, oh wow, I really want to know what all this hubbub is about, right? We're here, we paid to come here, so let's see what Tamiko's room is all about, right? Let's go ahead and check that out. And when they go in the room, they see the doll, they see a candle, and they see a bowl of rice that is an offering. Now, this should blare off multiple alarm bells if you assume the tale is real. And even if the tale is fake, it making it look as ominous and as real and as decrepit and as dark as this place is, you should just turn around and leave. But no, these girls keep on to explore, like, oh, what's that? Is that the doll? Is that Tamiko's doll? Oh my, and they go to touch it, and right when they touch it, boom, masked men who are very similar to the men that were on the tour guide, by the way, come up and continue tradition that led Tamiko to become deep in the first place. So once that is complete, we have Hayasha run, blood curdling, screaming away because she saw a hand reach out to her from Tamiko's room. She goes to Sakamoto and Rina. Sakamoto's like, whoa, hey, calm down there, man. That's a part of the show. What, you want me to do something, but you paid to be? He's just basically like downplaying it, which again, if you knew what was going to happen the moment that the manager didn't let Rina know that she was going to get any help, Sakamoto was a part of it and is implicitly involved in sexually assaulting every single woman that they get. Because plot twist, 2 men that were on the bus, one specifically by the name of Kuriko, are from the village or a direct lineage or have direct ties to the village that basically turned Tamiko into this demon in the first place. So their whole interest in this deserted, desolate place was to continue the tradition, to keep it going, because someone has to fuel their carnal desires, and no one else can do that for them, because why the hell would you do that for them? So now with their objective clearly set in mind, they have to get rid of Saito, the only safeguard that Rina really has. And once that's released, which they do by a simple bait and switch, by telling everybody, hey, let's go to the site where Tamiko died and let's look at that for a little bit. Now, honestly, I'm not that superstitious, right? But if I am a woman and there's a really weirdly suspicious manager who just keeps peeping at me whenever I want to change my clothes, who wants me to go outside in the dark with him, a couple of dudes, and my batch of strangers I just met, I'm not gonna feel that safe out there. And that would have been a correct assumption, because their whole plan was again to separate Saito and all the women from all the men that aren't a part of the village of the demon princess. And once that happens, they get to initiate all of their rituals. You know, they get to do it in the wood, do it in the shed, do it in every single thing. And when they finally got Rina all to herself, they explained the entire plot, like, oh, we needed more women, we needed to incapacitate the tour guide that was your boss, so you can come out here so we can add more to the roster, yada yada yada. Sakamoto's actually the mayor, so therefore we needed him to make this place legitimate, so therefore more people can book reservations here to not only pay us, on top of that, give us more women to. That's all said and done. We flash forward to about 7 hours after that, and we see all the mine broken in, and they are in a trance, just going at a lust-fueled orgy, because again, they don't really have a choice here. So Saito busts in and sees all that, and it's like, oh my god, what's going on? Funny thing though, as we have to note, they are in the room where Tamiko's doll is watching them. The same room that the two girls, Katahiro and Tamiya, were caught in the first place. The same room that Haishi ran away from because she was scared that it was chasing her. And so my thought is, guys, again, I don't condone any of this, but if you're going to be this criminally degenerate and you actually believe in this legend and folktale, do not do these crimes in front of the doll that is supposedly harboring the power of Tamiko herself. Because the main reason why you guys exist in the first place is because every single man that did that to her is dead and left a vacancy large enough for you guys to fill in. So unless you want to make another vacancy, leave the room. So lo and behold, plot twist, Rina, the tour guide herself, and Nika becomes the avatar harboring all of the hate-fueled rage that a victim of these crimes would harbor. And she turns back into the form that Tamiko was and becomes a demon and kills them all. Now, how does she kill them? Well, first of all, the doll manifests its hair into these strings that are similar to Kankuro's chakra strings, and they all get sliced and diced up guillotine style. Now, obviously, before that happened, though, a couple of their dicks blew up. They were gargling their own blood, curdling in pain. Very gruesome. Ends off, very beginning scene where this mysterious woman walking around breastfeeding a doll that glows her eyes, which I thought was Tamiko in the first place, but nope, it was Rina the whole time. Or it can be an alliteration suggesting that this was going to be Rina. It could be foreshadowing as well. Regardless, the beginning and end are literally the same, and how they got there is very similar as well. So overall, I would say storytelling wise, it's actually pretty superb. Now mind you have to get through all of the actual solve, but it's only one episode too, so I did not expect this to actually have a decent ending to this story that was well paced and seemed like it wasn't forced. MS Pictures cooked with this one. Alright guys, I don't know outro, but if I did, wouldn't matter because don't make my video. Good night. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know, I might keep up these one series reviews for a while. This got me in my element. Got me in my element. Got me in my zone. Cabron.